300 words. That's right. I forgot I changed it this year. I thought that you folks were going a little bit long on writings that I intended to be short. For instance, when I asked for a film viewing activity, it was about 200 words. A lot of you were giving me 400, which I don't mind reading more, but when you were writing that much, it led to drift. You lost your focus, and some of you lost points because you started to discuss multiple ideas rather than focusing on one. So this time, instead of creating a word minimum, I've created a word maximum. That, of course, requires that you still email or Google Docs share the material with me, but no more than 300 words. And you've got your basic rubric there, which is, once again, very similar to everything else that you've got with rubrics from before. You will only find the prompts on the website. So prompts are not available within the unit guide that you have printed there. You'll see the prompt following each, and let me read them and you can ask questions. The first chapter, justify which boy, Finney or Gene, would fare better in war. Number 2, explain how Finney is an exceptional teenager. Remember, the adjective exceptional means exception, something outside the norm. Chapter 3, decide which boy, Gene or Finney, views sports better and justify your answer. Now take a look at 3, take a look at 1, realize that the prompt does not allow you to say both. The prompt includes the disjunct or. So you must choose one or the other. And 300 words maximum means you only have time to really support one answer. So take a moment. We have some time, and this is the only time that we'll have an opportunity for this. Brainstorm a claim. Take a look at your prompt, and I'll show them again, and see if you can write your one-sentence claim. Remember the two-step process for answering extended response claim. Rewrite and answer. Okay, so I can proof your claim right now. I can tell you whether or not you're on the right track. And especially those of you who've lost points for claims before, you'll want this help. So try to write your claim. Take a moment. No, this is not, okay. Mitch, it's a good question. Remember, we've talked about 2 different types of claims. One is the extended response claim, so you're responding to a prompt, and the other one is a full literary analysis claim. These 3 are just regular prompt response claims, more like the Secret Life of Bees group writing, and a lot less like the Secret Life of Bees short essay. Okay, so don't worry about the 4 parts. Yeah, of course. Which one? No, I'm saying don't worry about the 4 parts of the literary analysis claim. Folks, you're going to learn about a lot of different claim sentences, a lot of different topic sentences. They're not all created equally. What you're doing right now is the one we started with the semester with, and that is a simple prompt response. And the rule for a prompt response is to complete 2 tasks. One, rewrite, and then answer in 1 sentence. We're not talking about the 4 parts of a literary analysis claim. You could still, Melissa, begin it in a separate piece, but then your next word would probably be Finney. Something like, in a separate piece, Finney is an exceptional character because. Emily, did you have a question? No. This is straight literary analysis, so you may not write it in first person. And if any of you wonders, well, I'm advancing my own opinion, it's fairly subjective, that's fine. In something like this, your opinion should be stated as fact. That strengthens the idea. Yes? Speak? Yes, I'll tell you what. Nikia, hold on. Does anybody else need to take a look at their prompt? We're all good? Nikia, thank you for offering. So, instead of speaking it, why don't you write it? Which one are you dealing with? Prompt 3, go for it. Don't worry about it. We're looking at content. We're not looking at fine-tuning it. So don't worry about the little nitpicky mugs issues. You can worry about that in the polishing. Who's got a chapter 1 that they want to volunteer? Sydney, speak it for me while she's typing.
I just said Gene would fare better for the war because he's very cautious in his decisions.
Okay, excellent. That seems fairly simple to me, and you could easily, with multiple examples of him being cautious, squeeze out 200 words, I'm thinking, with no problem. Melissa? Chapter 2, go for it.
Finney is an exceptional teenager because he has a sense of spontaneous honesty that builds friendships with other people.
Not bad. You've got a lot of concepts in there, but the sentence doesn't seem to become unwieldy or out of control. So I think that works. Mitch?
Chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
In a separate piece, Finney portrays a teenager with characteristics unlike average teenager.
But what are those characteristics unlike average? So yours is lacking a little bit of clarity. So Finney develops characteristics unlike average teenagers, but Melissa has included content on how they're different from average teenagers. So you might want to qualify that in some way by saying something like, because of his irrepressible honesty. You know what? I might actually exclude the unlike average teenagers. Do you hear how Melissa's didn't do that? She said he's an exceptional teenager because, right? And the prompt says exceptional teenager. It doesn't say anything about average teenagers or anything like that. Morgan? Yes? Yeah, and I like the genuine idea. Okay, that one works excellently. Chris? Yeah, that's it, because his view is more realistic.
In a separate piece, Gene would fare better in war because of his realistic outlook on competition.
Yeah, the realistic outlook on competition. Look, that Madison has actually joined chapter 1 and chapter 3. So you're saying you're answering chapter 1, but you're using the material from chapter 3 to answer it, and that's exceptional. I like that. In a separate piece, Gene views sports better than Finney because Gene has more of a realistic view. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what have I got here? The rewriting answer in 2 ways. She has picked one. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not where actually she picked. Oh. Okay. Rewriting is views sports better. The placement of Gene here and Finney here answers. And then she qualifies why with an answer. A single word qualification can be all you need. So a single word qualification on the chapter 2 prompt, talking about his honesty, talking about his friendliness, with a qualification of genuine in Morgan's, which is excellent. Same thing with the chapter 1 prompt. Just explain to me very quickly why he's better. He's better because he has more of a realistic view on competition. He's better because he's more likely to follow orders. He's better because he's more cautious. He's better because he is not quite as foolhardy as Finney is. All of these are excellent. I'm not asking you to go with any one answer specifically. I'm just asking you to follow the rules, the 2-part process for writing these, and make sure they're fully qualified. Nakia's, yours works fine. Do make sure, just quickly, Nakia, Control I. Capitalize the A. That should be an A, not an E. Oh, it's okay. And then capitalize the P. And then piece would be P-E-A. And then throw a space between separate and piece. Change that to than. Instead of that, it should be than. T-H-A-N. There you go. Okay, so just some cleaning up of this a little bit. Nakia's mistakes with the title, A Separate Piece, are mistakes that I see constantly in student writing. So I'm glad you made those mistakes because I did want to draw attention to them. Remember that a separate piece has, well, piece has a homophone, and that is piece as in a piece of pie, but we're talking about piece as in the contrary of war. So make sure you're spelling that one correctly. And separate for some reason, everybody wants to spell with 2 E's and 1 A. Because you say and you want the to be an ER, it's wrong. Separate, AR. So make sure that you're spelling that properly. And that should be about it. Anybody have questions about it? Yeah, Emily.
For the first prompt,
Yes.
we talked about which person we think would fare better.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Are we allowed to say, like for our 2 examples, we feel Gene is better because, and then
You-
he is not good because.
You can.
A counterexample?
You can, but here's what I would do. You could give a counterexample for Finney, or you could just do pure Gene. I'm thinking about this for a moment. Emily, your better than claim does imply that you will talk about Finney, so you may wish to talk about his counterexamples. I would make sure that you have at least 2 different details that you explore. And it could be the same tree incident, you exploring it from Gene's view, exploring it from Finney's view, and then using that to reach your conclusion. That could work. Mitch?
So the plan in separate piece, Finney's prepares teenager characteristics like honesty and spontaneity.
Okay, yes. Spontaneity and honesty. That works.
And you did say that we could use examples from all texts.
Oh, yes, absolutely.